Hello there, my name's Kristina Stephenson and I've been asked by the wonderful Manchester Libraries to make this little video to help celebrate World Book Day with you. Because books are brilliant, aren't they? And there are so many different sorts. There are books with words and pictures in them. There are books with just words in them. There are books with just pictures in them. There are even books with, well, nothing in them at all. But we'll talk about those later. There are storybooks, history books, craft books and mystery books. There are books written in rhyme, books about time, and if you look in your library or bookshop, you might even find one of mine. Because I am an author and an illustrator, which is just another way of saying that I make up stories and I draw the pictures for them, and they get turned into books. Sometimes I just write the words, like I did for this book. It's called A Christmas Carol, and it's a retelling of a very famous story written by somebody called Charles Dickens. Now, the illustrations in this book were drawn by somebody called Hoang Giang, who lives all the way over in Vietnam, and they really are beautiful pictures. Sometimes I just draw the pictures, like I did for this book. It's a fabulous, rip-roaring story called Lunch on a Pirate Ship, and it was written by a very clever lady called Carol Hart. And sometimes I get to write the words and draw the pictures, like I did for my best-known picture book series, which is called Sir Charlie Stinky Socks. There are 9 books in this series. Why don't you see if you can count them? All these books are about a bold, brave little knight called Sir Charlie Stinky Socks. The first story in the series, which I wrote nearly 15 years ago now, was actually the first book that I ever wrote, and it's called The Really Big Adventure. If you look closely, you'll see my name on the front. Kristina Stephenson. But listen, I've got a secret to tell you. Shh. Come closer. A little bit closer. Promise not to tell. I didn't actually have the idea for this story. It was a little boy, a little 3-year-old boy, my son Charlie, who imagined there was a place where the wiggly woos waited in the grass to tickle your toes. And from that, I created Sir Charlie Stinky Socks. And yes, he really does have stinky socks. He's also got 2 best friends. His cat, whose name is Envelope, meow, and his good grey mare. And they have all sorts of adventures together. And I made up those adventures by telling my own children's stories when we were going to school or when they were going to bed at night. And remember, stories can be about anything you want them to be. Ghoulies, ghosties, witches, wizards, and fantastical mystical creatures like the Knobbly Gobbly. Or they can be about treasure maps. And where you have a treasure map, you usually have a treasure chest. And what's inside a treasure chest? Well, treasure, of course. And remember, treasure can be anything you want it to be. And sometimes stories can be about nature, like discovering what you might find inside a very large, very green egg. I wonder what's inside this one. Can you guess? I haven't got a clue. Unless of course it might be a dinosaur. And then you might have a story about pirates that take place on a big blue sea. A sea filled with pirates and magical mermaids. Ooh, and a man-eating monster. And there are stories set in times long ago and faraway lands, like ancient Egypt, where you might have to trudge over the shifting, drifting sand dunes to long forgotten tombs. And in one of those tombs, you might just find a mummy. Yes, the mummy of the Pharaoh Abu Ra. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Because World Book Day isn't just about my books, it's about all books and how much fun they can be. So I'd like to share with you a song. It's a song that my husband Nigel and I wrote, and it's a song that inspired this book. Why are there so many books about bears? Which I wrote and illustrated. But actually, it's a song about other people's books about bears, written and illustrated by some very brilliant people. It's a very easy song. I'm going to sing the verses and you can join in with the choruses. It's going to be lots of fun. So why don't you have a go? Here we go. There's Paddington, that darling bear, from deepest dark Peru. And who remembers Rupert and dear old Winnie the Pooh? Consider Huglas Douglas of Cuddly Wuddly fame. And we're going on a bear hunt for a bear without a name. Your turn. Why are there so many books about bears out there? I declare they are everywhere. Why are there so many books about bears? Second verse. There's a beginner's guide to bear spotting, and Mr. Panda too. There's Old Bear and his friends, of course, but these are just a few. There's Goldilocks and just the one bear, although there once were three. And Little Bear, yes, everywhere. It's bear books that you see. Your turn. Why are there so many books about bears out there? I declare they are everywhere. Why are there so many books about bears? Again, why are there so many books about bears out there? I declare they are everywhere. Why are there so many books about bears? I declare, why are there so many books about bears? Brilliant. Give yourselves a clap. So there you are. I'm buzzing for books because books really are brilliant and you can borrow them all from the library. Some libraries are still open because they're counted as an essential service, but make sure you check the website first to see what the guidelines are. And I think that's all we've got time for. Oh, except to say, do you remember the empty book? Well, empty books are my favourites because they can be filled by you with your words and pictures. And your words and pictures can be whatever you want them to be. So go on, have some fun and enjoy World Book Day. Bye for now.